Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dealer On webinar, how to write great emails that get responses and drive results. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by Dealer On. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Dealer On, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, and we're best known for our search engine optimization, our best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning websites. And I'm very proud to announce that Dealer On was the big winner once again at the Digital Dealer 16 Website Excellence Awards. We snagged awards for highest conversion, highest LTV, lowest bounce rate, and for an amazing 6th time in a row, overall winner. No other website company even comes close. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that Dealer On is still the only company in the industry to offer a money-back lead guarantee program. So, does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads? Well, then maybe you should check us out at dealeron.com. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Justin Brunn and Ben.Koller as our presenter today. Justin Brunn joined the Acton Toyota Internet Sales team in January of 2005 and was promoted to e-commerce manager in 2008. Justin is responsible for all Acton's digital marketing initiatives. Additionally, Justin has worked to ensure all of the dealership's marketing efforts, from print collateral to TV advertisements, deliver a consistent message for the Acton Toyota brand. Like Ben, Justin is a co-founder of Dynamic Beacon, offering custom marketing initiatives based on dealership-proven strategies and tactics. And he can be reached at justin.brunn@dynamicbeacon.com. Joining Justin today is Ben.Koller, who joined Acton Toyota as an internet sales consultant upon graduating from college at the Holy Cross in 2004. In his nearly decade-long tenure at Acton Toyota, Koller has been the internet sales consultant, financial services manager, internet sales manager, and CRM manager. Ben is a co-founder of Dynamic Beacon as well, Acton Toyota's dealer-to-dealer digital marketing consultancy, and he can be reached at ben.koller@dynamicbeacon.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry, we'll respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of the webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference. And please, feel free to share this one with your friends and your colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at Dynamic Beacon will be giving away a fantastic prize today on the webinar. 2 of you lucky webinar attendees are going to be winning one free customized e-newsletter for your dealership. It's a $599 value. Now let me tell you what you're going to get. Justin and Ben are going to create and send a completely custom e-newsletter to your existing customer database. And as we all know, your best prospective customers are those who already have purchased from you. All content will link directly back to your dealership's website for further engagement and lead conversion. Plus, everything in the e-newsletter is there to help you sell and service more cars. So you don't need to worry about Ben and Justin adding cupcake recipes or pop culture related stories. This is a super cool, customer-generating, awesome e-newsletter. You gotta have it, but you have to be on the live broadcast to win it. So just stay tuned for the details after Justin and Ben's presentation, and you could be scoring this totally cool prize today. And at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. So fill it out, because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn how to write great emails that get responses and drive results. Justin and Ben, how are you guys today?
It's the 3rd best day of my life, thank you.
The 3rd best. All right. Well, you know what? One of these days we're going to have a drink. You're going to tell me about the first 2.
Well, the day I was born and the day I got married. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I'm right up there then.
I guess you are.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys have a huge audience. And audience, before we get into all the awesome things that Justin and Ben are going to tell you about today, I want to let you know I had the pleasure of seeing both of these guys present a similar topic, very similar topic, at Digital Dealer. And the audience there was mesmerized. You're going to be picking up so much stuff, so please take out a pen and paper, get your notebooks ready, you're going to have a lot of stuff to write down today. Justin and Ben, why don't you guys start off by telling the audience all of the amazing things that we're going to be learning about today?
Yeah, we absolutely will. And just very quickly before we do that, Eliana, we just want to quickly kind of share with the audience here today the relationship between Acton Toyota and Dynamic Beacon and really where we come from. So Dynamic Beacon is a separate standalone digital marketing agency or consultancy that is part of Acton Toyota, a very successful Toyota dealership located just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And very quickly, we're very proud to report for Acton Toyota. In 2013, we ranked number 33 on Ward's eDealer 100 list, number 1 in the state of Massachusetts, our home state. Second, we think it's a real privilege to be one of just 13 Toyota dealerships nationwide in the U.S. to serve on the Toyota Dealer Digital Advisory Board. So this is a dealership board that helps shape decisions for all things digital for Toyota dealerships. So we're very proud to have a voice and play a part there.
And I'm very honored to have been recognized by Automotive News last year as one of their 40 under 40, so sort of a list of up-and-comers that they've comprised. And we're also proud to have been nationally recognized in leading industry publications, and really happy to be here with all of you today.
So thank you for that. And right, we'll get right into the agenda right now.
Right, so with that agenda, we'll be starting off with the automated action plan and really covering everything as far as gaining trust to build relationships from that first response to emails weeks and months after. Next, moving over to targeted email broadcasts, we'll show you a few examples of things that have really worked well for our own dealership and for our clients. And then from there, we'll move over to sold follow-up, which is really, for us, marks the beginning of a relationship.
Next, we'll look at service reminders, what you dealerships can do to increase service loyalty and decrease service defection with these email reminders. Also, for you Toyota dealers in the audience, we'll share with you what you can do via email to decrease Toyota Care spoilage. Afterward, we'll look at my personal favorite, e-newsletters. We'll look at send frequency, content to include in these e-newsletters, and we'll also share with you some key performance metrics that you can use then as a benchmark. Lastly, we'll provide a summary, really the key takeaways or actionable items we feel most relevant, most important for you dealers from this presentation, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A.
That sounds
so let's
awesome.
Get right into it.
Yes, and audience, if you want to, please don't hesitate to tweet about this amazing presentation using hashtag DealerOnWebby. Take it away, guys.
So let's kind of we'll get right into it with the automated action plan. And we started this process like most consumers do on this dealership website. So we secret shop this Toyota dealership. We made this form submission, and if you note here, we're simply requesting more information. So we're on this specific Camry. I'd like to know if this Camry has an option for a spoiler and what the cost for all weather floor mats would be. Thank you. So I request more information. This very first email that I received back is from leads@toyotadealership.responselogics.com, and it's quite generic. So starting with that from email address, I don't really have a point of contact. There's no one in particular that I'm working with here initially. If I read within the body of the email, they're not addressing the spoiler or the all-weather floor mats. It's signed very generically by this Toyota dealership. So really for us, this wouldn't be an email. This would be an e-fail. We next almost immediately received a price quote. And if you recall, I didn't click quick quote. I didn't click to request sale price. I was simply requesting more information on two very specific items. So it's very obvious that this dealership did not read that lead in its entirety and really address it. Something we've done at our own store and we've helped a number of clients with is really the inclusion of video within their email marketing. And we're looking here within this study done by Marketing Sherpa, talking about email being one of the most effective pieces of email marketing. So the inclusion of that video content, very effective. And at our own dealership, this email you see here on the left, sent out from Stephen Pullen, one of our internet sales consultants, really starts off with this one-to-one relationship. So we're really able to personalize the experience from this customer right here from the get-go. So Stephen, in his video, will address the customer by his or her first name, answer any questions they may have had within that initial inquiry. And then you can see, in addition to that video, we've taken the time to explain that one-to-one relationship. Really tell that customer, you're not going to have to repeat yourself with another sales representative when you come in. Also, we're providing this guaranteed pricing, so letting them know the pricing is not going to change when they visit the dealership. Following that email would be the branding of the why buy message. So the introduction of that why buy message. In this case, it's the Acton promise. For your dealership, we'd highly recommend doing the same. So, making a great first impression. First impression is often a lasting one. So we've also included video content here as well to further explain the Acton promise, which is a simple, honest, and guaranteed purchase experience.
And so once those initial responses are made, your automated action plan or life cycle, call it what you will, kicks in. And obviously that automated action plan and those automated emails that go out on behalf of the sales team is there to build a relationship with those prospects, so with the goal of earning their business when they are ready to make a purchase. But we realize the process of trying to gain trust and build a relationship through automated email ain't exactly an easy task, especially when you consider that on average readers are spending only 15 to 20 seconds on each email they open. And further studies indicate that the average English reader can only read about 50 words in 20 seconds time. So you have just about 20 seconds, maybe say 50 words to communicate a message to your customer that you're the right dealership to purchase from. Good luck, right? How do you do that? Well, we really feel the best way in which to do that is a combination of both text as well as images. And the message then that you're delivering isn't so much to say that, hey, at Acton Toyota or at my dealership, you're going to get a great deal. I'm going to treat you right. You're going to get great savings. It's instead showing them what those savings are. And that's exactly what you can see here with this email. It's promoting the exclusive real zero-down leases that Acton Toyota promote. Again, it incorporates video. So just what Justin was noting earlier, this is a video further explaining these leases and how they differ from the competition. But again, really this email here, it's not about just telling these folks that they're going to save money when they purchase from you. It's providing them those savings and sharing with them specifically what they are. Also, to kind of further complicate the matter of trying to build a relationship through email is the fact that more and more folks are opening their email on mobile devices. As we can see here, Mobile Commerce Daily states that over 48% of retail email opens happen on a mobile device. And I'm sure you could agree with me two things. One, this number is only going to grow in time. And second, that we all have the attention span of a gnat when a smartphone is in our hands. So how do we gain that person's attention when they're looking at their email inbox on their smartphone to get them to go ahead and open the email and read it? Obviously, an email is not going to get read if it isn't opened. And so what you can do then is make use of what we call mobile subtitles. These mobile subtitles are really the first 80 to 100 characters of any email that get populated then directly beneath the primary subject heading. So this is the first thing one would read when they're looking at that mobile inbox. And there's a number of things you can do then to ensure that that message is pretty compelling and would motivate somebody to open the email. The first two examples, unfortunately, don't do too good a job of that. We can see here, hey, Ben, it's been a few weeks since you expressed interest. Boom, I'm deleting that email. Hey, Ben, it's been a month since you expressed interest. Boom, I'm deleting that email. Compare that with the bottom two, and in particular that last one here. A simple suggestion. Have you considered a Toyota certified used vehicle? Here's a $200 coupon. All right, that's definitely something that's going to gain my attention and cause me to open that email. But once that email is opened, I again don't want that visitor or that customer reading that same message. Again, those are the first 80 to 100 characters of an email. Once that email is opened, I want it to read as any other would with a dear customer name and then moving on. So we're sharing with you here, this is our CRM email editor here, and I've highlighted for you here, we've highlighted for you what is that mobile subtitle. The reason it's highlighted here is because the font color is actually the same color as that gray background. So once this text is unhighlighted, it's then invisible and cannot be seen, just as you can see here. So obviously, If I'm writing on a white background, which you'll see in just a moment, that font color is going to be white. So now it doesn't get red. It's there as part of the mobile subtitle, and away you go.
And something else we'd recommend incorporating into your dealership action plan is the introduction to management. So, oftentimes customers want direct access to who in their mind is the decision maker. So one way you could do that is like we've done here, by letting that customer know that the manager is confirming the appointment. We look forward to your visit. Again, you can see the usage of mobile subtitles. And you can see it's a short but highly effective email. We get a lot of responses. So it's just providing that customer another access point, another contact or individual directly to someone at the dealership, in this case the manager. And we feel it's really important to have an action plan or life cycle that follows that customer out for days, weeks, and months. You can see here in this study provided to us by Google, it's a Think Auto study, that 49% of consumers shopped and purchased between 1 week and 3 months. So it's that larger majority, that larger segment that's purchasing in that period of time. That's only 14% that shopped and purchased within 1 week or less. And really there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. So in continuing to secret shop other dealerships like we have completed in the very beginning, this is a Toyota dealership here in Massachusetts, and this particular email here was our very first impression. It was sent from the BDC director. The quick line, are you available to meet tomorrow between 10 and 6, signed by the BDC director. Are you still in the market for a vehicle? This is almost immediately after making that first submission, we're receiving an email like this. This one sent from the sales manager. So immediately after receiving it from the BDC individual, we're getting it from the sales manager. This email here read more like a book if you were to look at it on your smartphone. And in this case, the dealership tried to make use of hyperlinks back to their website. But in every single case, when you click on those links, you end up on a page that's in the shop. So really, this is an opportunity, as far as we see it, to secret shop your own dealership if you haven't done so already. Submit your information, hang out on that life cycle, and see where it takes you. See if really, ultimately, it's the message that you want to convey. You might even consider going ahead and creating an appointment for yourself within the CRM so you can explore all avenues of that marketing message. Here's another email here. Once again, are you available to meet with us today? There's really no value here for the consumer. This would be a different dealership. We thought this one was particularly interesting because it's congratulations for choosing to negotiate your next vehicle online. My name is BDC Agent. Signed, sincerely, BDC Agent. From email address, bdcagent@dealerdelivery.net. So absolutely not that one-to-one experience that you want that customer to have. Not a great first impression.
So we're looking here then at a poll question.
All right, audience, it's your very first poll question of the day. So if you wouldn't mind, please look at your screen and get those votes in. We really appreciate it when you get involved with our poll questions. And here it is for you. When was the last time you submitted a lead to your own dealership website and examined your email follow-up process? Please select one of the following answers. Did you do it within the last week? Maybe you did it within the last month. Maybe you did it within the last 3 months or the last quarter. Or did you do it within the last 6 months? Or are you one of those people who says, crap, I didn't know I was supposed to do that? Whatever the answer is, we want to know. It really helps us out, and it lets us have insight into seeing what's going on in the auto industry. And we really appreciate it, and the votes are coming in fast. And audience, thank you so much in advance for voting and getting your votes in. Like I said, this is the first. We have 3 poll questions today. So once we get a majority of the votes in, we'll close that poll and we'll share the results, and then you will know what everyone else is doing as well. Now, Justin and Ben, these votes are still coming in. I assume that once I tell you what our audience says, you're going to tell us how often they should be doing it. I'm going to guess.
Yeah, absolutely. You want us to wait for the polling to close?
Yeah, we're gonna close this poll right now, guys. All right, here we go. Audience, thank you so much for getting involved. I really appreciate it. Let's close this poll and share the results. All right, Justin and Ben and the rest of you, audience, let's see what we said. 21% of today's audience said that they did it within the last week. 28% of today's audience said that they did it within the last month. 23% said that they did it within the last 3 months. 11% said that they did it within the last 6 months, and 17% of today's audience fully admit, crap, they didn't know they were supposed to do that. So, first of all, Justin and Ben, is that mostly what you thought you were going to see from the audience, kind of, sort of, an even split all the way across?
Yeah, we were a little surprised, truthfully, by the 17% that hadn't secret shopped themselves, and that's, I guess, a little disappointing. Obviously, the two examples we have here that Justin was noting are certainly two dealerships that did not do that. We're really happy, though, to see such a large percentage in that 1 week, 1 month, as well as 3 months. At our own dealership, and really what we would recommend then would be at a minimum 3 months. Certainly if you can do it each and every month, all the better, but 3 months at a minimum. And I think what Justin was noting earlier was really good insight, is that it shouldn't be just, okay, submit a lead and see what happens. You have plenty of other triggers there as well as part of your action plan or life cycle that are probably related to having made an appointment, if an appointment is, say, missed, if it's a showroom visit. There's a number of different triggers that are there that make up your entire action plan or life cycle, and all of those should be closely evaluated. Does that answer your question?
I think you did. It was great. And audience, thank you so much for participating once again. And we're going to have a couple more poll questions for you, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so ultimately, this isn't imperfect science, right? It should be tracked as well as possible and consistently evaluated and updated. But really, the importance of the secret shopping is just to look at that message in its entirety. Really look at what you're telling that customer.
So the next segment we'll look at here are email broadcasts as part of the presentation. And we're going to share with you a number of different examples, successful examples, both within sales as well as service in the coming slides. But just quickly before we do that and before we share with you those examples, we can't underscore enough the importance of ensuring that these broadcasts that you send are sent to a targeted audience. As you can see here from Campaigner, 82% of folks won't open a message from the sender they know if the information is not relevant to them. So even if this is an individual customer that knows you, loves your dealership, if that message doesn't resonate with them, chances are they're not opening the email. And then these next examples here we're going to show you certainly further reinforce that importance of delivering a relevant message to a targeted audience. The first example we're looking at here was sent just shortly after the Prius plug-in arrived on the dealership's lot. So it's a little bit of an older email, but it's kind of an oldie but a goodie. So when this vehicle arrived on the lot, we're saying to ourselves, who are going to be most likely to purchase this vehicle? And for us, the obvious answer was existing Prius owners. So we sent this email to them, made it hyper-relevant to them by way of including this fuel comparison chart. So we wanted to show these folks what they would be saving annually in fuel costs by upgrading to the Prius plug-in. So as those new models arrive on your lot and you're looking for who are the most likely folks to purchase that all-new redesigned vehicle, look to the folks that already are driving an older model. And then within that email and communicating and promoting that new vehicle, really bringing it relevant to them. What's the benefit should they upgrade to that new vehicle? Another example we're looking at here isn't so much trying to sell a vehicle, but instead purchase the vehicle that the customer owns. We all know just how darn difficult it is to purchase quality pre-owned vehicles. Prices at auction, you pay through the nose for a quality vehicle. So why not target your owner base? These are cars that you see in your service lane, you know are quality vehicles you'd like to own. Let's email those folks and offer them a small incentive should they come and trade in the vehicle. Give them an even larger incentive if they go ahead, or excuse me, a small incentive to appraise the vehicle, an even larger incentive should they go ahead and trade in. And that's exactly what we've done with this email here that you can see. And this is a little bit of a unique use of Hook Logic. That's the product we're using here as part of this gift card offer. So a little bit of an unconventional or non-prescribed way, if you will, to incorporate that technology into your email marketing. Justin's going to show you another example of that later with the service reminders. The other email here, this is a bit of a departure obviously from the previous two. Very short, just very simple plain text, but all of that is intentional. For us, this is really kind of like the little email that could. It's one we send out to working active customers that have inquired, say, over the last 90 or maybe 120 days to really get them in the doors at the end of the month. You can see the email here. Basically, the message is, hey, I'm competing to win a contest. I'm very close to achieving that goal. I'm extremely motivated to meet that goal, and I'll promise to make it worth your while if you're interested in purchasing. Can't tell you how successful this email is. A lot of our clients use this exact email. Others might slightly have us modify it for them, but the message is the same. And again, it's something that goes out toward the end of the month to those folks who have inquired over the last 90, 120 days. Really helps get people in the door.
And so oftentimes overlooked is your fixed ops or service departments. And here's a quick, simple broadcast that you could put together. In this case, our dealership, we were targeting customers that had not been in for service for 9 months or longer. And you can see here we're offering them kind of an aggressive labor variable discount. There's a couple of other offers here with a complimentary one-day rental and exhaust part savings. Those coupons oftentimes flip out. We're also providing the customer the opportunity to utilize the online service scheduler and our service coupons, so our everyday deals on tires, brakes, and batteries. So this broadcast, once again, very targeted, sent out to over 13,000 people. We're able to think about preventing service defection, bring 112 customers back into the dealership. You can see the average RO spend and the total revenue generated. And so next we want to move over to our sold follow-up, really where we review everything from our Facebook like request to our online review request to some really slick equity mining software that we use at our dealership. And we have a couple of statistics here brought to us by our friends at reputation.com. And probably the top one is not a surprise to any of you, that 72% of consumers trust online reviews as much as word of mouth. But the second bit of information brought to us by the Harvard Business Review, that a difference of a 1 star in the average rating in a typical online business profile can lead to a 5 to 9% difference in revenues. We thought that that was huge. We really wanted to include that today for you. And it really just speaks to the importance of having that either automated review request or one like this that you see here. So within our own dealership, we see a huge opportunity within the fixed ops department to survey customers every time a repair order is closed, and then take these comments and actually send them back to the customer. So in this case, we're bolding and italicizing this customer's comment, emailing them, inviting them to share their kind words in either Yelp or Google Plus local pages. This particular review request you can see is sent from our general manager, Mike Hills. So it has quite a bit of impact, and that can actually be seen here on a number of review sites. You can see here on DealerRater that we have almost 2,000 reviews at this point, quite a few service reviews, part of that 2,000 number. And then on Google Plus local pages, we're proud to report that we're right now the #1 rated Massachusetts Toyota dealer with a 4.8 rating and 225 reviews. So, oftentimes we're asked, where should I request that my customers write reviews? And there's one simple thing that you could do just by simply going to Google, doing a search for your dealership name. You could see right here on page 1 within the organic results a number of sites that are listed. In this case, this Honda dealership has done a tremendous job on Google. But if you look at their Yelp page, they only have 19 reviews with a 2-star rating. So you could very quickly focus on where it is that you need to be requesting these reviews be written.
So we have our next poll question here, I think as it relates to online reviews.
You're absolutely right. All right, audience, we need your help once again. Please check out the question on your screen and let us know, which online review site do you feel is most important for your online reputation? Now, we want to know which one you value the most, and we're only asking you to pick one. So please select one of the following. Do you feel that your Edmunds online reviews do the most help for your online reputation? Do you feel it's your DealerRater reviews? Is it the Cars.com reviews? Is it your Google Plus local reviews, or is it the reviews that you get on Yelp? I don't know if there's a wrong answer to this. I really don't. I think you want to have reviews everywhere, right? But we want to know which ones you place the most value in. Please let us know. Once we get a majority of those votes, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And audience, you guys rock today, man. These votes are coming in fast. I really appreciate it. So, Justin and Ben, whenever you're ready, you let me know when I should close up this poll because almost everyone has voted.
All right, if almost everyone's voted, let's go ahead and close the poll.
All right. Hopefully, sometimes we do these poll questions so the guys can get something to drink. So I hope you guys got something to drink. Here you go. Let's close this poll and share the results. Well, an overwhelming majority of today's dealership attendees, 64% of them, said they rely most on Google Plus local online reviews. 64%. Now, 20% of today's audience believe that their dealer rater reviews give them the most bang for the buck. Then we have 7% that say Cars.com does it for them. 7% said that they love their Yelp reviews, and only 3% said that it was Edmunds that gave them the most important online reviews. So what are you going to tell the audience about their online reviews?
Well, it was 60+% that were heavily focused on Google Plus local pages, and
yes.
we couldn't agree with them more. And something we just wanted to put out there that we did, it was probably about 2 years ago now, is we went through our active email list and targeted customers only with the @gmail.com email address. So we were in a matter of a weekend able to generate over 80 reviews on Google. It was highly effective and very targeted.
And, it's so funny because we have some people who wrote in their comments. For instance, Jeffrey, he wrote in that Google is so massive, you just kind of have to do it. And Dan wrote in, can you also poll us on which reputation site is the most difficult to work with? Unfortunately, Dan, not today, but thank you. That's for next time, maybe. All right, let's get back to your presentation. I know you have so much more to get to. Thank you, audience, so much for participating in this poll question.
Okay, so getting back then to the presentation. So as part of that sold follow-up, as Justin I think had noted earlier, really after purchase marks the beginning of the relationship, not the end of it for us. And so really what we encourage you to do is engage your audience and encourage them to join your social platforms, in particular Facebook. It's a very unique way, obviously, in which you can continue to communicate with your existing customers and do a few things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise do or be able to communicate with them. So we'd recommend at some point post-purchase, we typically recommend it at 30 days, an email similar to the one you're looking at here would be sent to that individual who had made a purchase and invite them to go ahead and like you on Facebook. And you'll see here the giveaways and promotions. Oftentimes what we'll do here at Acton Toyota and encourage you dealerships to do as well is if we get maybe additional tickets to a sporting event or maybe there's some sort of a play at a theater in Boston, we'll go ahead and promote those tickets and offer those to our Facebook followers. So just another unique way in which we can continue to build this relationship with our existing customers. And once we move past just a few days and move on to then anniversaries, we'd encourage you to go ahead and send emails at each and every anniversary, at least for 3, 4, 5 years' time. And within that email, obviously simply congratulate them on another year, check in, see if there's something you can do to be of assistance. But especially if you have something like the Acton Rewards program, offer them some sort of rewards points that you might have or a loyalty program at your dealership. Give them something small just to kind of celebrate the occasion. If you don't happen to have a rewards program, it could be something like a small discount off an oil change or maybe it's a percentage discount off parts at your dealership or accessories. Something there just to kind of mark the, I guess, anniversary as some sort of an occasion. And then once we move past just a few years, we definitely suggest incorporating a strategy in which to market to your individuals that are in a favorable or equitable situation to trade up into a new into a new vehicle. You want to do just what you see here. Mine your database and strategically target customers who are in the best position to buy today. And we encourage you to consider someone like J&L Marketing and using their B-Linked product to help you do this. So you're looking at one of these emails here that goes out, that is upgrade your Toyota and lower your payment. But we also want to call attention to the fact that within these emails, again, you want to keep in mind you're emailing individuals that are not in-market shoppers, and so it's best to then offer additional options other than just an opportunity to get into a new vehicle. You can see that down here with the auto spa, which is the dealership's detailing center. So whether it's something detailing related or a service coupon or a tire coupon, whatever it might be, you definitely want to include that in correspondence like this. It's just another option, knowing that these folks aren't necessarily in-market shoppers. And you know what? These programs work. In fact, for Acton Toyota, it creates an additional 20 to 45 units per month by sending out that email that we just saw, and then following up, of course.
So next, moving on to our recommended service reminder strategy, really focusing on increasing service retention and decreasing service defection. And this is really something that a lot of dealerships struggle with, and oftentimes it is overlooked. They don't even realize what they are sending out to the consumer as it relates to service. And you can see here within our own service reminders, we've taken time to really completely personalize these. You can see at the top a number of links. Something you might want to consider doing within your own service reminders is providing a value or trade link. So, knowing that they have multiple vehicles within their family, they might be interested in getting a free trade appraisal on your dealership website. It's quick, easy, definitely something to include. A number of other things we've included here are the promotion of the Acton Rewards program, the ability for that customer to tap through their mobile phone to call to schedule service, or actually utilize the online service scheduler through the Schedule Online button. So we actually have a couple of reminders here. The reminder on the left is that initial reminder that's sent out. If that customer is unresponsive, they're not in communication with the dealership, they don't come in and have that service done, we send them a second email, which is a bit more detailed. It's right here on the right. And in that email, we talk a little bit about the maintenance itself, what it is we're going to be doing at the dealership. Once again, promoting the rewards program, inviting them to schedule service online or call the dealership. So it's really important to have that safety net in there. What we've discovered in working with a number of clients is that there's nothing after that initial email is sent out, no safety net. And looking over the last 12 months at these reminders and their performance, you can see the open rate average, the bounce rate at only 1.5%. So that really speaks to how clean our email list is. Very low opt-out average, and I want you to pay particularly close attention to the lost souls visits. So these are customers that have not been in the dealership for 12 months or longer, and we're picking up about 75 customers on average every month as a result of these reminders from defecting. And if you compare and contrast our open rate at 32% to the national open rate, you can see there's quite a difference. It's largely due to the subject line and the email content itself. So what is your store's follow-up strategy for non-responders? I'm going to share with you ours here right now. The customer does not respond to those initial email and the second email. At around 64 days, we send out this email here, which is really promotionally oriented. We reserve special savings just for you. And you can see here the subject line and the open rate at 35%. And really the email here is promoting our everyday deals, but it's really asking that customer to claim their $10 gift card. So when they do that, they land on our website. This is a hidden landing page. It's not visible within the navigation or to anyone outside of these reminders. That customer has the option to claim their free $10 reward card, either Amazon, Target, or that virtual Visa. So this is that hook logic tool that Ben was talking about earlier within the sales broadcast. This has become highly effective. It's amazing how $10 can bring in 50 or 60 extra people each and every month and prevent them from defecting. So Eliana would like to poll the audience.
All right, audience, last poll question of the day. And it's a pretty good one, too. So we want to know, do you currently email incentives to win back your unresponsive service customers? Please select one of the following answers. Maybe you do, and it's working great. Hey, then you can pick that first answer. Maybe you do, but you aren't getting the responses you would like. Hey, we have an answer for that too. Maybe you don't, but you definitely think you should. Or maybe the answer is, no, I never thought to do that. And then the last answer, we don't email our service customers at all. So whatever the answer is, please let us know. Once we get a majority of those votes, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And audience, again, thank you so much for getting involved. Oh, these votes are coming in fast. I have to say, Justin and Ben, I think you're going to be surprised by these answers.
Okay. We always like surprises.
Do you like surprises? And audience, audience, also, I want to let you know, if you do have a question for Justin and or Ben, hey, send them on in. Their presentation is going to be over in just a few more minutes. So we're going to get to all of your email questions as quickly as we can. So let's close this poll and share the results. Let's see what we got here. Well, the majority, 41%, said that no. No, but I definitely think that I should. They do not email currently. Oh my God, I can't even talk. They do not currently email incentives to win back their unresponsive service customers. 41% said that. 29% said yes, they do, but they're not getting the responses they would like. 19% of today's audience said yes, and it's working out great for them. And then we got an even 5% for no, I never thought of doing that, and we don't email our service customers at all. So Justin and Ben, were you surprised by that? Because I was a little surprised by that. 41% that they don't do it, but they definitely think that they should. That's good news, right?
It's definitely good news, absolutely, and it's so easy to do, to set up this page within the dealership website. I would actually want to address, I think it was 29% of the audience that stated they weren't receiving the results that they'd like.
Right.
And I would just maybe ask them if they've played around with that dollar value. We've experimented with that dollar value. We've increased it, have decreased it. We found that sweet spot to be $10. So that might be a suggestion if they haven't already done so.
Oh, that's a great idea. Audience, you might want to give that a go. And you were right, it was 29%, that's a pretty large percentage of the audience. So
yeah, it certainly is. You're absolutely right.
Well, thank you so much. I know we still have some even more information to get to.
Yeah, so this next slide here, this is really for all the Toyota dealers in the audience. And so this is our promotion of Toyota Care, which is the no-cost maintenance that's provided with every new Toyota purchase. So in this example, we have a campaign that we've created. It's sent out quarterly, and it's really based off of opcode and number of months. So in this case, this email says, according to our records, you have approximately 6 months or less to have at least one remaining complimentary Toyota Care service completed. And so really, as a result of our focus and concentration on Toyota Care and really preventing Toyota Care spoilage, we've had a 29% lift over the Boston region, which is comprised of 73 dealerships, in Toyota Care usage, a 29% lift. And something else you can do within your finance department, perhaps, is the promotion of Toyota Care Plus. So we've inserted this email here that you can see on the left, which is inviting that customer to avoid the rising labor costs and extend their peace of mind, really by requesting a free, no-obligation price quote. And once again, this is timed as well. It drives that customer to a warranty website that we created where they can receive that price quote. It quickly generates a lead and it's sent over to the finance managers to follow up with.
So the last portion of our presentation regarding email here is related to e-newsletters. And this, for me, again, is kind of my personal favorite topic, an email to send. And the reason it is because you're sending emails to your most qualified prospects, or those folks that are most likely to purchase from you. And those are the folks that have already done business with you. And so, but there's certainly a right way and a wrong way in which to send these e-newsletters. But before we look at that, really before you even send an e-newsletter, you want to ensure that you have a clean, up-to-date list. So, if you're sitting there saying to yourself, my list, geez, if I'm asking you how clean it is and you're saying probably not too clean, some of you might even be saying it's pretty damn dirty. If you're saying that, you need to ensure that you have an up-to-date list because it's an essential ingredient for deliverability success. And if you are one of those folks in the audience there who doesn't have too clean of a list, here are 3 separate sites that you can go to help you with email verification. They're very easy to use, turn the results around very quickly, and they're also inexpensive. So here are 3 that we would recommend. And then once you have a clean list and you're ready to send, you may be asking yourself, all right, what should be my send frequency? How often should we be sending these e-newsletters? That's a question we get quite often. And really the answer then we provide is once every other month or 6 times a year. That we found to be the real sweet spot in terms of send frequency. The last thing you want to start doing is bombarding folks with emails with your e-newsletter every month. You've got service reminders. Maybe there's an equity mining email that goes out. The last thing you want to do is start sending these folks too many emails. As you can see here, 54% of email subscribers say they unsubscribe when they feel emails come too frequently. It's the last thing we want to have happen. And then when you do send an e-newsletter, please, please, please do not have your e-newsletter look like the example that you see here. So this is a dealer that's local to us, a Toyota dealership, as a matter of fact. But if I didn't tell you it came from a Toyota dealership, I think the likelihood that you could tell it came from one is pretty darn slim. We've got cupcakes, we've got passport, puzzle video games, an e-reader. I mean, these are the sort of e-newsletters that I see that keep me up at night because I feel so badly for this dealership that they're wasting this opportunity with this sort of an e-newsletter. And so, when you are sending content-wise, you want these things to look more like the examples we have here. We've got a good mix of sales, service promotions. We've got why-buy messages that are included, video as well, just like with our other emails. We've got an opportunity to go ahead and appraise a trade. And so they're filled with content that's relevant to your brand and your dealership. The content that's going to help you sell and service more vehicles. And then further with content, we look at the click rates, what sort of content is getting clicked on most frequently, and it should probably come as no surprise to you that service-related content far and away captures more clicks. As a matter of fact, it's about 3/4 of the total clicks are on service-related content. So keep that in mind as you're developing these e-newsletters. Yes, you want to promote what you have going on in your showroom with your vehicle sales, but really it's that fixed op and that service-related content that folks are most interested in. Also here then, looking at kind of what gets clicked on, and speaking of clicks, sharing with you here 2 performance metrics, one of which is an open rate, the second of which is a click rate. So these are the averages for just about 20 recent e-newsletters that have been sent at our own dealership and then for our clients as well. So just sharing with you some good performance benchmarks that you can use then for your own e-newsletter. Open rate of just over 26% and a click rate of just over 4%.
So kind of wrapping things up today, we're going to review a summary and some key takeaways. First off, personalize your initial response using video, so through the usage of video. And you've seen how we've done that with our sales consultants. We use Stephen Pullen as an example. We've also included our why-buy message and created a really slick video around that, introducing the one-to-one experience. Design your emails for mobile reading, so making usage of subtitles and making sure that the email itself is not sort of a pinch and zoom option, that the customer can read it perfectly on that mobile device. Build management introduction into the action plan. We showed you our example within the appointment being set and then that manager intro being sent out shortly thereafter. And then the importance of implementing a review request process and how we do that at our own store.
Next, you want to encourage select customers, to upgrade their vehicle. But again, be mindful of the fact that those solicitations, those emails are going out to folks that are not in-market shoppers. So you also want to include other offers, and service coupons and service savings are certainly something to consider. Next, when you're sending your email broadcasts, please, please, please send them to a target audience with a relevant message. Again, we can't underscore that enough. Again, remember that 82% statistic from Campaigner. Then, when within your service reminders, consider including an incentive-based offer to prevent those folks from defecting and getting back in your service lane. And as Justin was just saying, if you are currently doing this, but the offer unfortunately isn't all that effective, change it up. Again, going back to the very beginning, this is not an exact science. It's a lot of trial and error before you come up with what really works. The concept, though, is right on. And then lastly, when you're creating and sending your e-newsletters, include content that's relevant to you and your store. Again, leave all that other stuff. If it's a recipe that these folks want to learn, they can get that from the Food Network. They don't need to get that from your dealership. And then at this point, Leanna, I guess we'll open it up to some Q&A.
Wow, Justin and Ben, you guys are awesome. I knew I hired the right guys when I found you a digital dealer. But I want to thank you so much. Great presentation. And by the way, you have a lot of awesome questions that came in from the audience. And audience, if you haven't gotten your question in yet, well, what are you waiting for? Now's the perfect time to send it in. Before we get to your questions, though, audience, we got a little bit of business to take care of. Oh, my gosh. All of a sudden, 12 questions just came in. Holy moly. Okay. Before we get into the question and answer session, which, by the way, audience, there's a lot of people on today's presentation. I fully expect us to go a little bit long on this question and answer session, but I think it's going to be absolutely worth it, and I hope you'll stick around to find out the answers to some of these amazing questions. But let's give away some prizes. It's that time if you missed it at the top of the webinar. Well, I announced that our good friends at Dynamic Beacon are giving away a fantastic prize today on the webinar. Not one, but two of you lucky webinar attendees will be winning one free customized e-newsletter for your dealership. It's a $599 value. Now, Justin and Ben are going to create and send a completely customized e-newsletter to your existing customer database. And as we all know, your best customers are those who've already purchased from you. So all content will link directly back to your dealership's website for further engagement and lead conversion. Plus, everything in the e-newsletter is there to help you sell and service more cars. You don't have to worry about cupcake recipes or pop culture related stories. All you have to do is answer a simple question. So get ready. Get to your keyboards. Time to saunter up. Put your game face on, people. There's a lot of people on this webinar. You got a lot of competition. I got two different questions for you. Here is your first question. Get ready. Good luck, everyone. The question is, according to Mobile Commerce Daily, what percentage of retail email opens happen on a mobile device? Wow, we already have a winner. And I got to say, not a lot of you got the answer right, people. What were you doing? Let me scroll up and tell you who the first person was who wrote in the correct response, which, by the way, was 48%. And 48%, this goes to Michelle Matthey. Michelle Matthey, you are today's winner. You have won yourself a great prize for your dealership. I'm writing your name down right now, Michelle, while I'm doing that. Michelle, if you wouldn't mind, please write on in and let me know what dealership you're from so we can give you a proper shout out. And congratulations. All right, audience, don't worry, don't fret. Guess what? You have another chance to win. I got another question over here on my paper. So let's get to the next question. Oh, here we go. Michelle Matthey is from J Chevrolet in Michigan. Congratulations, dude. All right, Michelle, you can sit this one out, babe. You are not eligible to win it a second time. But the rest of you audience members, here you go. Here is your question, and good luck. Earlier in the presentation, Justin and Ben showed you a quote that said, a difference of 1 star in the average rating in a typical online business profile can lead to a 5 to 9% difference in revenues. Where did that quote come from? Ooh, oh my gosh, somebody got it. I can't believe it. I didn't think you mentioned it long enough, Justin and Ben. I thought it was just going to fly under the radar. But somebody got it. Let's see who that person is. I know, it's really, actually a number of people got it right. Well, I'll tell you what, audience, the answer is Harvard Business Review. And, ooh, for the first time in a long time, we have 2 female winners today. I'm very pleased to announce that our second winner is Tamara Swats. Tamara Swats, congratulations. You have won yourself a very cool prize for your dealership as well. I'm writing your name down, Tamara. Quickly, write on in and let me know what dealership you're from. There you go. Where are you, babe? Congratulations. I know, Tamara, you're probably like high-fiving all the people in your office right now. Okay, here we go. She says, yay, thanks, Legacy Toyota in sunny Florida. Tamara, congratulations. And Michelle, big winners today. Audience, thank you so much for playing along. I hope it was fun for you. Of course, we want to send heartfelt congratulations to today's winners. And of course, we want to thank Dynamic Beacon for their incredible generosity. Well, gentlemen, without further ado, are you ready for some of these amazing questions from our audience?
We're ready.
Okay, don't forget, put it on that slide with, you know, your mugshots on there, and let's get started on this. Okay. First question comes to us from a good friend of mine, Megan. Megan wrote in. She wanted you to just confirm. She saw earlier in your presentation that you had a Facebook email, and she thought it said that it came from Dynamic Beacon and not the salesperson. Is there a reason that you do that?
Oh, that's a real astute observation. In this particular case, that email, it just happened that the way we had built that email initially, we created it in a test Dynamic Beacon account. So no, that email will be sent from the sales consultant. So it was just when putting the deck together, I guess you could almost argue, I guess, a little slight oversight on our part, but really kudos to Michelle, was it? Who
Megan actually.
Megan, I'm sorry. So kudos to Megan for having caught
too much just to ask Megan, let me tell you.
It's to be sent from the sales consultant. The selling sales consultant is who that email comes from.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And Megan, they're right. You're pretty sharp. Speaking of sharp, we got David Sharp over here. And David wants to know, and this is a great question from David. He says, are all of your email templates built by your CRM, or does Dynamic Beacon do it? And do you put them in the CRM, or do you build them in the CRM, or they were just in the CRM?
No, we build them within the CRM, and the thing that we're doing now with these emails also is we created an HTML framework so that these emails then render extremely well regardless of what email client the email is in, or whether it's also on a mobile phone. So effectively, what we've done and what we do for our clients is we have an HTML framework, if you will, in which the emails are there. So that's why you're able to see those images. You can see the navigation menu or nav bar that's there. So all of that is with HTML. So it's just using that CRM email editor and the HTML portion of it to create the emails as you see them there.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And David, always nice to get a question from you. Okay, next question comes to you from Melody. Melody says, we have a generated email that goes out to when an RO is closed and when a customer purchases a vehicle asking them how we did. I was wondering if you have any good examples, if you could send to me or show us. I want to see if there's something we can add or do different because I don't feel that we're getting a big enough response.
Yeah, we'd actually probably want to see. We probably would want to see the examples or exactly what she's sending, and then maybe pass on some information from there.
Yeah, I mean, what's the message that's there? Who is that email being sent from? What's the subject line of that email? Yeah, to Justin's point, if she'd be kind enough to share it with us, we'd definitely be happy to make recommendations and try and help her increase the results and performance of that email. Absolutely.
Oh, well, Melody, I think you should take them up on it. Obviously, they're like super nice guys. Let me tell you, honestly, they're super nice guys. So email them directly, and let's see if they can give you some, pointers to help you improve your response rate. I hope you'll take them up on that. All right, next question comes to you for Frank. He says, question for later. Okay. Do you find that sending out emails for Facebook, like Review Generator, etc., will cause a customer to unsubscribe from your email database or cause them to disappear?
No, we have actually not found that for our store or for any of our stores. We found the level of engagement to increase I mean, ultimately, it really depends on what you're offering that customer after they engage with you, whether it be through a channel like Facebook. But within those emails, we haven't found that at all. The active email list continues to increase, and the open rate continues to increase.
Great news. All right, Frank, don't be scared, man. Give it a shot. All right, Roger wrote in. He really wants to know if you guys will be kind enough to show them the email with the $10 coupon on it. Or maybe it was more like an incentive.
You're talking about the service-related email, right?
I believe he is, yes.
So he wants us to just, we can go back to that slide. I assume that's kind of what he's asking right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll be happy to do that.
So here's the email, right? It's on the screen right now. It's promoting that $10 gift card offer and also the ability, or the everyday service coupon, so the everyday deals.
Well, Roger, if you have a... Oh, he does have a follow-up question. All right. Roger wrote in, and he says, do you also have any examples of optimal subject lines and descriptions?
You know, we've had this subject line here for this particular email for a number of years. Prior to that, we had experimented quite a bit with the subject line. Ultimately, we landed with this because it was generating a 35% open rate. So prior to this, I can't recall off the top of my head what those other subject lines were, but we're clearly displaying that here if Roger wanted to note it.
Huh. Okay, Roger. If I were you, I'd quickly jot that down, or, hey, don't worry, guess what, we're recording this, and you'll get the recording later. So, Roger, good luck, and of course, if you have a follow-up question, please let us know as soon as you can. All right, next question. Oh, he says he has no questions. Jeffrey says, I have no questions, but that information does help me greatly, and I will take these suggestions to heart. I love watching these webinars. I'm hooked on them. My future emails will at least be 75 to 100% better, and I hope I get more of a response. Jeffrey, I love what you said. Thank you so much. All right.
Justin's in tears right now over that.
I am too. Woo. Okay, let's go. Oh, he wrote in, very welcome. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. That was so kind of you. Okay, let's get to this question from Frank. He says, well, if I were to follow this type of program, I would be sending out a whole lot of emails to the same customer over a period of time. The thank you email, then the Facebook email, then the review email, then the service reminder. How do you keep it from negatively affecting your relationship with your customer?
Yeah, again, at least, for these sales emails that we were looking at, from the review request email that goes out just a few days after purchase, there's a 30-day email for Facebook, and then these anniversary emails are just once every other year. So you're talking about pretty few emails on the on the sales side post-purchase. You have any newsletter that's once every other month, and then these service reminders are going out, maybe two, three times maybe a year. We haven't found, fortunately, we haven't found a situation where a lot of folks are coming back saying, hey, you're bombarding us with too many emails. I think that what we've seen here, truthfully, is kind of the right balance, because that's, again, that 54% of folks unsubscribe where the emails come too frequently. We've really kind of dialed it into that sweet spot as far as just enough to stay top of mind, but not too frequently to where folks are wanting to unsubscribe. We realize and appreciate the fact that we're a dealership. We're not like an Apple store where folks are coming in once a month or whatever it might be, making purchases over and over.
Right, right. Okay, thank you very much for the question, Frank, and for the response. Great response. Audience, I'm going to let you know, I know it's the top of the hour. I can honestly tell you we have at least 25 questions in the queue. I'm going to go in order that they were received, but I highly recommend you stick around. Guys, Justin, Ben, just sit tight. You ain't going anywhere anytime soon. All right.
We got a bunch of water here to stay hydrated. We're good.
Okay, good. All right, let's get to the next one. D wrote in, Miss Eliana, can you please ask Justin to share the email list cleaning vendors slide again? Thanks. The email list cleaning vendor slide, if you wouldn't mind.
Yep, it's on the screen right now. Yep.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, so D, while you take a gander at that, I'm going to go to our next question. From Chris. Chris says, what websites are available to generate visual enhanced email templates? Well, let's start first. Do you want visually enhanced email templates?
I would say Dynamic Beacon would be the first place to start to get visually enhanced.
I think that's an awesome place to start, by the way.
Yeah. But no, I do actually have a URL. I don't have it handy. I feel very badly. Do we have, was it D, did you say? Was it the name?
Yes, D.
Chris?
Oh, Chris. Oh, D wanted the slide. Chris wanted to know about the visually enhanced email templates.
Yeah, I know, truthfully, I know there are a few free templates, HTML templates that will help us talking about that frame, if you will, to ensure that emails render properly regardless of the mail client as well as then on a mobile device. And so I do have a link to where there are a number of them that are available, some of which are free. I haven't tested any of them, frankly, because we have a team, a very skilled team of designers here to create the template that we have for our dealership and our clients. But if I have his email address, I can email him that link, and that would certainly be a place to start, I would say.
Hey, Chris, why don't you quickly email Ben or Justin and tell them, remind them about this question and ask them directly, and then they'll be able to respond to you very, very quickly. How's that? That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, I'd be happy to give him that URL, and I think that'd be a pretty good starting point for him.
All right, cool. Oh, Chris already wrote back in. Thanks. All right. So are we back on our contact slide with your mugshots, guys?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, we are.
All right, cool. All right, let's go to this next question. Now, Dan is very, very excited to ask this question. How do I know? Because he asked me 3 times to ask you. So here we go. Dan wants to know.
That wouldn't be Dan Mondello, would it?
Yeah, it was. How'd you know?
Talk about difficult review providers, difficult attendee.
What are you guys using to measure CTR? Click-through rate, by the way.
Yeah, so we have goals set up in Google Analytics, and it also depends on the provider itself. I mean, the provider of our e-newsletter, we use MailChimp as a platform, so they have all the metrics you could ever want. And then with the CRM, it would be goals within Google Analytics. And we also have auto revenue, which is Dominion. So we get reporting each and every month, all the reporting you could ever want in terms of click-through rate for those service reminders.
Dan, I'm so glad to have asked that question for you. If you have another one, please write back on it. All right, Justin and Ben, your next question comes to you from D again. D is writing back in. D says, also, have Justin and Ben review the open rate and click rate averages for each of the different types of emails they're using at Acton. Sales follow-up, service reminders, newsletters. D is interested in knowing which they find most value return from. That's a really great question. Are there certain emails that you guys send out that are like, you get like a 50% response on compared to something else that only gets a 10% response on?
Well, many of our email broadcasts are very targeted. So I'm just trying to think here between the very simple contest email that Ben shared with everyone to even the fixed opt side. Frankly, they're all really effective. I'm trying to think of one that stands out in particular as top of mind.
Yeah, I mean, as far as kind of picking out the emails that, quote unquote, maybe say most important, I would say one would be that initial response, is kind of piggybacking on what Justin said after an inquiry. That first response is often, your first impression is often a lasting one. So I think that initial response, the importance of that, the broadcast, that is the end of the month contest that Justin was noting earlier, is one. Service reminders get a very strong open rate. The Toyota Care spoilage, at least for us. Yeah. And then the e-newsletters have an open rate at least for Acton Toyota, of somewhere around 33 to 35%. And again, that average, that 26.1, was a blend between our dealership and our clients. So Acton has maybe slightly stronger than some of the other clients that we work with, but still a 26% open rate is certainly nothing to sneeze at.
No, of course not. Now, Dee had a follow-up question. Dee wants to know, how do you follow up the email opens? How do the opens convert to appointments, sales, ROs? What's the eventual ROI? Dee is putting you guys on the spot.
Can you repeat that again, Eliana?
Well, they want to know how Dee wants to know how your email opens relate to the number of appointments that are set, the sales, and basically, in essence, what is the ROI on the emails? Like, if you get 100 email opens, does that relate to 5 extra cars being sold that month?
I mean, oftentimes we can cross-reference the information in the DMS. We have reporting directly from the DMS, but a lot of the reporting is within the CRM because, at least for our own dealership, you know, our website and our CRM are the same product. So a lot of the reporting is shared. And then as it relates to the emails, I mean, it's all within the contact history itself. So if we send out a campaign, all of that reporting is there from when they opened it to then if they were inactive and then if they became active again and then made a purchase. So I'm not sure, I mean, outside of that, within the CRM, I'm not sure what are the reporting or tracking that Dee would be looking or requesting.
Yeah, and as far as kind of the ROI, so to speak, I mean, really the beauty with a lot of these emails is that it costs very, very little in which to send. And in the case of, say, something like a sales broadcast, any one of those 3 examples we were looking at, it cost us literally nothing to send as we were sending to customers within our own database, other than, I guess, arguably the time spent to create it. So, you know, I mean, any single type of activity that would result from it would be a win-win. It didn't cost us anything to send.
Dee must obviously agree with you. Dee also wrote in, great, thank them very much. That was the answer I wanted the audience to hear. Email costs very little when done right. Thank you so much, Dee. You always have insightful questions for us. All right, gentlemen, take another swig of water because you got another slew of questions that are coming in now. Next one comes to you from Linda. Linda says, how do you balance content required by the manufacturer in your initial response and still keep it short, you know, like within 50 words?
Yeah, I mean, well, at least in the case of something like Toyota, there is the Toyota Care. And so if we were to, say if I just, pardon me for flipping back here to one of these examples, but actually you can see here, at least this is the one of the JNLB linked emails that goes out that we've completely modified. Here you can see here's the promotion of Toyota Care from the manufacturer and how we've done that. This hyperlinks then over to a page within the website that has that promotion. And so, in the same, whether it's a Volkswagen, and I think they have the carefree maintenance test there, or, you know, again, it's whatever sort of visual component that is there as part of some sort of OEM program or promotion, a quick highlight of that program, whatever is the kind of key message itself, and then from there providing an opportunity to maybe link to a page within the site that has more information specific to that program that is there where the individual can read more about it and then further engage with your site.
Linda, I hope that helped you out. Certainly if you have a follow-up question, let us know. Gentlemen, we are under 20 questions from closing out this webinar, by the way. So many more great questions from the audience, like this one from Scott. Scott wants to know, do you really believe that Facebook emailing is that effective? Justin, Ben, which one of you is going to take this one?
I don't know. Everybody seems to hate this Facebook email.
Maybe because it's new. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we do find it to be effective. I mean, the thing, you know, we incorporated that email, frankly, and recommend dealers incorporate an email like that when their Facebook account is being actively managed. We're fortunate at Acton Toyota to have a really skilled gentleman. He's a great individual that's overseeing that campaign and overseeing Facebook and doing an exceptional job with it. And there's a bunch of engagement that occurs there on Facebook. And so, but we weren't doing that, we weren't sending an email like that prior to having him in place and him really actively owning Facebook. So I guess, right, if you're not actively using Facebook and it's really not a destination that you think a whole lot of your customers are going to like or want to engage with, then yeah, absolutely don't send them there. But if it's something that you are doing a good job with, and hey, I want to get some more followers, we've got a good party going on, we just need more people to show up, basically, then yeah, an email like that is successful.
Scott, I hope you give it a shot. Just give it a try. What do you have to lose, right? All right, let's get to this next question from Joe. He says, how often do you recommend sending emails to service customers?
Can he be a little bit more specific? Is he talking about the reminders, or is he talking about the broadcasts? Or
I think he's talking about everything. So you send out reminders to service customers, then when they come in you send them thank yous, and then different customers who you think you might be losing, you send them an incentive to come in for service. Is that right?
Yeah, so the reoccurring service reminders, there's 3 of them that are sent out, and then obviously for folks that don't have email, there's the the hard copy that's mailed to them. But on the service reminder side, they go out each and every month, and the broadcast that we do for customers that have not been in for 9 months or longer within service is about every quarter we send that out. And then on the Toyota Care reminder, that's also about every quarter we send that out. So we work with our contact over at Dominion to coordinate that, put that in the calendar, and get those sent out.
Okay, Joe, I hope that helps you out. Let's get to this. Oh, this is a great question from Rosemary. Rosemary says, what are some of the best keywords to place in your subject line?
Some of the best keywords to place in our subject line. So I'm thinking, because we just talked about service, that the email we're sending out, which is the 3rd email, the 3rd reminder, has been highly effective, which really is important information regarding your Toyota. So creating some sense of urgency there on the service side. On the sales side, I'll let Ben comment on that.
Yeah, there's the first thing that kind of came to mind, and I didn't touch on it here in the presentation, but is to personalize it. Oftentimes, you can use within your CRM, you have your autofill values for the customer's name. So you'd be able to incorporate that then into the subject line to where you really personalize then that subject line to where it's, first name, Eliana, comma, and then whatever it might be. So there's just another quick way that's really successful as part of a word you can use as part of a subject line. We also like words kind of like exclusive, limited time are 2 others we like. Sometimes we'll include something that has a kind of a just announced exclamation point or just announced colon, and then whatever that promotion might be, or maybe it sometimes says, alert exclamation point or alert colon. So just some other things to kind of call attention to what is that subject line to increase open rate. And again, those mobile subtitles, so going back to those is, consider those mobile subtitles part of that subject line or an extension of it. And it's an additional opportunity for, additional characters to motivate somebody to go ahead and open the email.
Another idea is also to maybe subscribe to companies like Bloomingdale's or, other retailers that are out there like Crate and Barrel. And you'll obviously get on their email list and start looking at their subject lines. It might actually spark some ideas for you.
I know you're not supposed to use the word free.
Yeah,
we don't cut the spam filters, right?
Yeah, we don't typically use words like free within the subject lines. No, yeah, but exclusive, limited time. Again, I think that using that name, individual's first name, is also great to use. That will probably be my first recommendation.
Great question, Rosemary. Next question comes to you guys from Ryan. It says, Justin and Ben, what's your recommended unsold lead follow-up strategy regarding email frequency? How often do you send emails to the unsold leads for follow-up?
Yeah, so the life cycle or action plan that we have in place for these unsold folks. So he's saying after a certain point in time there, we're going to mark them as unsold, or just from initial inquiry till however long they haven't yet purchased, so they're considered unsold. I guess I'd almost maybe want some clarification there on that point, but the life cycle action plan goes out for just about 125 days, I believe, and emails stop right around the 100 and I think it's maybe the 120th or maybe the 115th day is when that last email would be sent. And as far as the number of emails that go out as part of that, that are part of the automated action plan, because again, we're looking at the automated emails that are here. Obviously, the best emails are going to be personalized emails that are sent from your sales team, right? These are kind of the automated emails are the supporting cast emails that are there. And so as far as the total that go out, I want to say it's probably somewhere between, it's probably about 9 emails, I believe, maybe as many as 10 emails. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't know that exact number, but we'd recommend probably about 10, I would say, within 120 days' time.
Okay, Ryan.
That are automated.
All right, Ryan, I hope that helps you out. Oh, he says, got it. Thanks, fellas. Thank you so much, Ryan. All right, let's try and get to these last 10 or so questions. Real quick, question from Jack. What's the best way to insert video into an email? I have used the image link in the past. Your recommendations?
Yeah, so what we like doing actually is having just an image of the video. So this thing keeps popping up, our apologies. So what we had previously, and we really wish we could actually play one of the videos for you. We did that in our presentation at Digital Dealer, but we've just got a single image of the video with a nice play button that's there. That then hyperlinks over to 1 or 2 places, one of which would be a co-video frame that Justin can talk about. The other would be actually then a landing page on the website where that video is, along with additional content.
Right, so with co-video, the video is actually sitting inside of a customized frame. Co-video is installed on all the sales reps' smartphones, so they can go outside, quickly shoot a walk-around video, or actually set the camera up on a tripod, the smartphone, and record that video and have it hosted within that frame. So just continuing to brand the dealership with that customized video frame. Do we have that?
Are you whispering? Okay, well, Jack, thank you. Great question. Joshua has a request for you. Joshua says that trade-in, trade-up email looked really nice. Can you show that to us one more time?
Yep.
Okay, while you're doing that, let's get to this question from Alex. Ooh, the Alex Jefferson is on the line. He says,
oh, man. Thank you, Alex.
He says, do you send out all of your emails through your CRM, or do you supplement with an outside source, like Vertical Response, with sending out larger quantity email blasts?
We really like all of our email correspondence, or as much as possible, I should say, to, if it's some sort of a sales-related promotion, to go through the CRM. The reason for that is it's then attached to that customer record within the CRM. Now maybe Alex, we know he's a really bright guy, really progressive himself. Maybe with his CRM he's got some sort of integration with this other email program in which it can then attach to a record. But no, for the most part, by and large, we're sending as much as we can on the sales-related side of things through the CRM, because we like to have it attached to the sales record. So if that customer, or when that customer visits, the sales associate, the sales team can quickly access the email, see exactly what the customer read and be able to intelligently work with the customer.
Alex has a follow-up question for you. He says also, based on your tests, how do your text emails perform in contrast to your full HTML emails? Good question, Alex.
Yeah, that's a great question because, I mean, really what we're trying to do is some emails are strictly plain text, like the manager email. Effectively, you know, if it's going to be a blatant automated email, we're going to make it look like an automated email with the text as well as the images to clearly communicate the fact that, hey, this isn't probably sent directly from the sales associate, but it's still communication from him or her and also then from the dealership that would be valuable to you, the prospect, or you, the customer. So we're really strategic in terms of what email is more of a text-heavy and graphic-rich versus what is something that's plain text, like that manager follow-up email. That's very short, simple, to the point. It looks as though it was written right from that individual, that sales manager. So we actually blend both graphic-rich as well as very simple plain text emails, depending on what that message is, the timing, etc. So again, it's kind of a lot of trial and error, and then determining that secret, you know, figuring out what that secret recipe is. But it should be a combination of both, in our opinion, frankly.
Alex, always a pleasure to see your name on our screen, and thank you so much for the great questions. All right, Justin and Ben, guess what? We got 6 questions left, and we're very much over time. So let's see if we can get through these. All these people are still on the line waiting for you to answer them. Next question comes to you from Jeffrey. Jeffrey says, besides Facebook and Google+, what has been the best way to share from that you have found, obviously?
You're saying what would be the best way for the customer to share about their experience, or I guess I don't.
He says yes.
So aside from Google Plus or Facebook, what would be another source where customers could share about their experience? That's what he's asking.
Yes.
So I mean, our own store uses DealerRater pretty heavily. As you can see, we have almost 2,000 reviews there. So that would be another source for us. We're obviously continuously trying to build up our Yelp reviews, and we have a pretty good rating there as well. So probably DealerRater would be, at least for our own store, one that we'd recommend.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And lucky for you guys, I got a DealerRater webinar coming up on August 14th. Heather McKinnon, I believe, is doing a webinar with us on August 14th, and she's going to talk about reputation management. And I had her on once before, and she is brilliant. So I hope you can join us for that if you are interested in getting more reviews for your dealership.
Yeah,
okay.
We know Heather. We know Heather pretty well, and she's great. So yeah, that's wonderful.
Jeffrey says, okay, well, of course, not going to miss it, and thank you guys so much. All right, Jeffrey, thank you so much for being here. Hey, guys, are you back on your contact us screen? I hope you are.
Yeah,
Audience, if you have any other questions for Justin and Ben, you know you can always email them directly. They are seriously the sweetest guys ever. Linda writes in, do you have a recommended frequency to email customers that generated third-party leads? And do you have a ratio of phone to email that works well for you? It's a twofer from Linda.
Yeah. So the immediate thing that came to mind, well, I might have you repeat it, but I was just thinking about how oftentimes we actually, for third-party leads, specifically TrueCar, would acknowledge the ad source in which they actually requested from. So if it's a American Express, you know, inquiry, we want to treat them a little different, acknowledge them, where they came from, where they submitted their information. But maybe you could just repeat the second half of that again.
Do you have a ratio of phone to email that works well for you?
As part of kind of like an action plan, if you will.
Yeah, for follow-up. I mean, is it half phone calls and half emails? Do you phone call, email, phone call, email, or is it email, email, phone, phone? I mean, I've heard all different kinds of scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I want to emphasize here is, you know, again, these automated emails as part of the action plan are there to really just kind of an additional support if you will, for the sales team. I mean, frankly, almost in an ideal world, you'd send very, very few of these automated emails because the number of phone calls and personal emails that are being sent, are sufficient in terms of keeping that individual engaged and building a relationship with them. So again, they're kind of the supporting cast or supporting player in this whole thing. So, but as far as a ratio of, say, automated emails to then phone calls, I would say you would want to be at least about 2 to 1, I would say, as far as phone calls to automated emails. And again, keep in mind with these automated emails, these are the behind-the-scenes emails that are happening to support what the sales agent's doing. And you don't want those behind-the-scenes emails to be like, hey, it's been a little while, haven't heard from you, can I help you, or what can I do, when just yesterday your sales consultant called and had a conversation with that individual, or was exchanging a bunch of emails regarding a potential trade-in or what have you.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Justin had said earlier. I mean, it's a kind of an inexact science. There's a little bit of an art to it as well. But I would say 2 to 1.
So twice as many phone calls as emails.
Yeah, related to automated emails, yes.
Okay. Linda, thank you so much for the great question. We got another question from Dee. Dee wrote in, so, do Justin and Ben follow any non-auto dealer businesses' e-campaigns, such as maybe Starbucks, to gain guidance and insight in developing their strategies? Who do you guys follow? That's what we want to know.
Yeah. So that's actually, as I was talking a little bit earlier about getting ideas for subject lines, I know that I personally look at Bloomingdale's. I also do follow Starbucks and Crate & Barrel, Pottery Barn, a number of those retailers. I'm on their email list, and the frequency at times seems too much. It's almost every day you're getting blasted with something, but you do get quite a few. You do get quite a few ideas in terms of layout for emails, subject line, and the sort of overall design of the email.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is, Dee, I mean, if you want to email us, we've got a PDF that has, I think, like 101 or 100 top email examples, and then we've got another one with maybe 15 on there. And we've used those. We've drawn a lot of inspiration from them as well. And then another company that I really like is Stio, S-T-I-O. They're like a clothing outdoor company from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I just really like a lot of their emails, and we draw inspiration from them as well. But to answer Dee's question, yeah, that's really where most of our ideas and inspiration comes from, are these other companies.
Dee wrote in, will do, Ben, thanks. Love the Stio reference. And yeah, I have to say, those big, huge companies, especially like Amazon and stuff, man, they spend millions of dollars doing research and kind of stuff. So if you can gain any ideas and just, switch it up a little bit and make it work for you, man, you just saved yourself a couple $1 million, I think. So good luck, Dee. We wish you the best of luck. We got a last couple of questions for you guys. This one comes in from Chris. Chris says, should I call a previous customer to get them to upgrade after or before I email them? Should I wait a certain length of time? What works for you guys? So basically, Chris wants to know what your process is if you're trying to get a previous customer to come in and upgrade to a new car or something. Do you email first?
Yeah.
Do you call first? What do you do?
I would let the email go first because, again, there's going to be a small response rate from this, truthfully. I mean, again, we're looking at 20 to 45 additional sales a month, so it does work. But you have a number of folks that are in this equitable position here. I would let the email be sent, first. However, if I'm a sales consultant maybe or part of a BDC and I've got this exceptional rapport with this individual, they've purchased multiple vehicles from me, a family, what have you, I wouldn't be disinclined to maybe call them that person prior. But otherwise, I would let the email be sent first, and then from there, look at the sort of engagement on the part of those folks and understand who was most interested in an offer like that. and then from there provide additional more personalized follow-up.
Chris, thank you so much for the great question. And Justin and Ben, you are down to our last question. And I'm sorry, sweetie. Brittany, I had to make you wait till the very last question. You're our very last question of the day. Okay, Brittany says, do you find that with visually enhanced emails that people are replying, or do you think they go to their spam? What's your read on that, Justin and Ben?
Oh, I'm sorry, could you say it one more time, Eliana? I'm sorry.
Brittany wanted to know if you find that visually enhanced emails are being replied to on a regular basis, or do you think that a lot of those go into people's spam folder?
Yeah, most of our emails are full of HTML, so the answer is no. They're getting received and responded to. We're not seeing any issues. It's not like they're big image blocks in there.
Yeah, it's not just big separate image blocks. I mean, it's a combination of both text as well as image that is there, and so yeah, we're not having deliverability issues. I guess if we just had a big static single image, perhaps, but otherwise no.
Brittany, thank you so much for your patience. Audience, I told you it was going to be a great show, and oh, Brittany wrote in, oh good, thank you. And Justin and Ben, dude, you guys rocked. Thank you so much. You put on a great presentation, and you addressed a topic that a lot of people, not just in the auto industry, you know, in any business, really need to get better at, and you guys did it with such grace and such phenomenal information. Thank you so much. I really hope you'll consider doing another one with us sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us, Eliana. We really, really appreciate it, and we'd love to and look forward to working together in the future.
And I want to just thank all the attendees for having sat in on our presentation. We really appreciate that, and we're flattered that that they did so. Thank you.
And audience, if you want, you know, hey, doing this email deliverability and email, you know, and getting people to respond by email, let me tell you, it's not easy. But if you need help, I honestly couldn't think of two other better people to send you to than Justin and Ben. So if you want to do more with the emails that you're sending out to your clients, I would highly recommend Justin and Ben and reaching out to Dynamic Beacon and seeing what they might be able to do for you. Fantastic presentation. And by the way, audience, I need your help because we're going to be sending out a survey soon, like right after this webinar closes in another minute. I need you to tell me how awesome you thought Justin and Ben were, because I thought they were awesome. And I would love to know your feedback on this topic and their presentation specifically. So please fill out that survey. We're always looking for great feedback from you. And of course, we're also going to randomly select a couple of people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. And don't forget, I recorded this whole thing, so we're going to be sending that link out to you very shortly as well. Expect to see it in the next few hours. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar, How to Really Sell from the Service Lane, Part 2, The Mindset. In this expired 1-hour webinar, a continuation of his brilliant Dealer On webinar, How to Really Sell from the Service Lane from February of 2014, Jim Kristoff will discuss the entire mindset of how to really sell cars in the service lane. This webinar will take you through not only the mindset, but the story of why you want to buy the customer's vehicle from them. Once you get the customers to understand what's in it for them, the sale is easy. With the right mindset, you'll learn how to swiftly and dramatically build tremendous sales right from your service drive. Furthermore, a comprehensive sales process from your service lane will also greatly increase customer loyalty, customer retention, and of course, your bottom line. So if you're ready to get your mindset right to really sell vehicles from your service lane, then you just can't afford to miss this presentation. This is the webinar you've been waiting for, so don't miss it. Don't forget, our weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And we have some amazing webinar subjects planned for this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars and our topics, then hey, contact me directly. My name is Eliana Raggio. I'd love to hear from you. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. I'm on all the automotive social networks. So track me down online, or you can email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Take care.
All right.